The training dome of Outpost Karvik hummed with artificial light, its walls alive with shifting holograms of alien terrain. Rows of cadets from across the Confederation sat in tense silence, each species bristling with the discomfort of being near the predator-born children of the Garen beasts. The cubs, 5 in total, were small, scaled things with eyes too large for their heads and claws that clicked nervously against the floor. They had been brought here as part of a sociological study. Could the apex predators of Garen be socialized? Most cadets avoided even looking at them. Even the instructors, battle-hardened veterans of 3 wars, kept their distance. The cubs snarled at the Vaith, hissed at the Merrill, and flattened themselves into trembling heaps whenever a towering Carrick soldier came near. But then the human walked in. His name was Elias Grant, a civilian technician assigned to the outpost. He wasn't a soldier, wasn't trained in xenopsychology, and hadn't even been briefed properly about the cubs. He simply came to fix a faulty data terminal at the side of the dome. The moment he entered, the atmosphere shifted. The cubs, who had been snapping at each other in fear, went utterly still. Then, to everyone's shock, the smallest one waddled forward on shaky legs. It sniffed the air, let out a low, warbling chirp, and pressed its scaled head against Elias's boot. The dome fell silent. "Is that supposed to happen?" whispered Cadet Ilix, her antennae quivering. Elias blinked down at the creature. Hello there, little guy." He crouched, held out a cautious hand, and the cub butted its head into his palm. A second cub darted forward, then a third, until all 5 were clustered around him, purring and chirping as though he were their long-lost parent. The instructors exchanged nervous glances. Beasts of Garen didn't purr. They certainly didn't cuddle. "Step back, human," barked Commander Vrex, his scaled hide bristling. "They are dangerous." Elias looked up, baffled. "Dangerous? They're just kids." He scratched one behind the jaw ridge, earning a pleased trill. "See? Harmless." But they weren't harmless. Every cadet knew the stories. Fully grown Garen could tear through armored patrols, and even the younglings could shred flesh with their claws. Yet here they were, nuzzling against Elias like domesticated pets. For days afterward the pattern repeated. The cubs snarled at everyone else but flocked to Elias the moment he entered. They followed him across the dome, climbed into his lap during maintenance breaks, and even refused food unless he was nearby. Researchers tried to analyze it. "Perhaps it is scent," suggested one biologist. They tested Elias's uniform, scrubbed it, replaced it. The cubs didn't care. They still followed him. "Perhaps it is pheromones," said another. But scans revealed nothing unusual. "Perhaps it is dominance," a warrior theorized. Yet Elias displayed no aggression, no alpha behavior, nothing but gentle patience. The mystery deepened. When one cadet accidentally shouted too loud near the cubs, they bolted in terror, straight into Elias's arms. When the medical staff attempted to separate them for examination, the cubs wailed until Elias returned. When an emergency drill sounded, the cubs clung to his legs and refused to let go until he reassured them. The instructors eventually gave up trying to explain it. The Confederation was filled with species who prided themselves on logic and hierarchy, but none could unravel why predator-born creatures trusted a fragile, soft-skinned human above all others. Late one night, Elias sat in the dome while the cubs slept piled against him. Commander Vrex approached, his eyes hard but curious. "You are no warrior," Vrex growled softly. "You carry no weapons, display no dominance. And yet they choose you. Why?" Elias shrugged. "They're scared. Kids know when someone won't hurt them. Maybe that's all it is." Vrex studied him for a long moment, then shook his head. "No, it is more than that. The galaxy fears the Garen for what they are destined to become. But their cubs! He glanced at the sleeping creatures. Their cubs see something in you none of us can. Elias looked down at the small scaled bodies curled against him. He smiled faintly. Maybe they just needed a friend. Word spread quickly across the outpost. Cadets whispered about the human who tamed the untamable without force, without training, just by being himself. No one could explain it. But the cubs had chosen, and their choice was final. From that day forward, they feared everyone else. But they trusted the human.